So then how did Osho Samasati, which is about conscious living and conscious dying, so how did that got
Come
created?
about.
Yeah, come about.
I became, when I finally, I felt existence was pushing me on, having lived in the ashram and then commune as it became called, in about mid-1990s, I felt I must move, I must go now, back into the world, which I thought I'd left forever. I thought Pune was where I was going to be geriatric and wheeled about in a wheelchair the streets of Corrigan Park, yes, with a young sannyasin feeding me mango pulp, but it was not to be. Yes, I didn't know what to do with myself, and then someone suggested, why don't you work with dying? You've been at the master's feet for all these years, you've had a background in nursing, and there's an instant yes. It was an extraordinary intuitive guess. So I started creating workshops around death and dying, and I had wanted to work on a one-to-one to people, but I needed also to be making an income, so it wasn't easy to find people who wanted that sort of support, though I did do that occasionally. But yes, I started, and then I started the organization. And the website is huge with so many resources for conscious living and dying, OSHO techniques, articles, a section on health, on pain, on suffering, on dying, on supporting the dying. So it's a really rich resource, and that feels a terrific thing to make available to people.
Tell our viewers something more about Osho Samasati, like what the work entails, and what are the workshops that you do around it, because I know you share it all around the world now.
Yes, for I don't know, many years I traveled everywhere. I mean everywhere, the USA, New Zealand, Israel, Turkey, Scandinavia,
Russia.
America, Russia, China, Japan, Mexico. Terrific to be able to travel around the world in that way and see that we all basically have the same issues. We all have the same longings, the same needs. We want to be loved. We all have fears around dying, and found people really open to our work. Every country has conditioning around dying, some countries more so than others. But it's been amazing to have a group of people come into a workshop, perhaps on a Friday night, with their fears and apprehensions, and just within 2 days of being together, meditating, discussing what death might be, why the fears, and meditations to help us understand that dying is very much like meditating in a way, in that we move inwards. The journey is alone, even if we're surrounded by lots of meditators, even if we're surrounded by lots of beloveds when we're dying. Essentially, when we meditate, as when we die, that beautiful phrase of Osho's, it's a journey from the alone to the alone. So for people to understand, not just intellectually but experientially, that there is that deep similarity, then they have a means by which to become familiar with the dying process through meditating. And there are particular techniques also for particular issues such as fear. Fear energetically is a contraction of energy, isn't it? And through a method such as from the Book of Secrets, Fill the Heart with Peace, we consciously go to the heart center and feel the peace there, and with our breathing allow it to expand and expand. And in that expanded space you simply cannot be fearful. You can't be simultaneously contracted and expanded. So this is a terrific method, very simple, that someone could do in a hospital. You could introduce it to a mother or father and they'd be able to do it. So there's so much that Osho's provided, not only for living consciously but also dying consciously. And these have been my resources in our work.
It's all, as I understand, it's not only a preparation for a meditator or for yourself, how to, die consciously, but also you could assist people through the
That's
trainings
right.
that you offer
That's
to,
right. Yes.
your family, friends,
Yes.
people who you can assist them in dying.
That's right.
Consciously.
And I do feel there's a huge groundswell, particularly in the West. The whole taboo around death is dissolving.
Yes.
It's taking longer in countries perhaps such as India, China, Japan, South Korea. But I feel Osho Samasati, though we mightn't achieve much, it's like just a drop in the ocean, we're part of a groundswell and a great wave of change, and it feels really exciting to be part of that opening of this huge taboo. I think we're a long way from Osho's understanding that death can actually be a celebration.
Yes.
He's even used the term the ultimate orgasm, but we're moving there.
Yeah, and as part of my experience, but because I did attend your workshops, it was like by going through that, even your life, it's like not even conscious dying, but it helps you to live your life.
That's
that you
right.
have moment to moment much
That's right.
more consciously.
Yes,
And
absolutely. I feel the success of a workshop at the end, not that people come up to me and say, oh, now I really want to die, but wow, this is just, I think you said it,
Yes.
this is just as much about living as dying.
Yes.
And it's true that people have a greater gratitude for life. It really makes clear what life is and how extraordinarily lucky we are and how fragile.
I'm glad you remember that.
Yes, no, it was, I often quote it.
Yeah, because I really felt that this moment to moment let go for me, that really changes the quality of my life, my
Yes.
moment to moment living.
Yes.
Yeah, less attachments and more acceptance.
Yes.
And much more energy to live.
And for me, it's about gratitude. It's
Yes.
ever since I've started this work, it really helps me stay awake
Yes.
to the amazingness of waking up each morning
Yes.
and not to take life for granted.
granted.
So that's a really
Yes.
strong theme in my life. And I always finish my workshops with we all stand around and sing a song and do a little dance of gratitude.
Yes. The Metta Bhavan.
And the Metta Bhavana, yes.